Welcome back everyone to another episode of Let's Build Twitter. Today we start out inside of the register slice where we add a new Axios call to the update user phone async thunk to send a request to the backend server to send an email to the email that the user specified whenever they signed up. And then we create a new register form 5 component. This component will read from the Redux store. That way we can display the user's email that they're trying to verify. And it's also going to allow the user to input the sent verification code using a validated text input component that we created in the previous episodes, as well as using the next button to go ahead and move on to the next part of our registration modal. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder, a professional technology trainer. Let's go ahead and hop right into development. We are now capable of going all the way through and setting up our phone numbers. So if I go ahead and prove that, unknown, and then Koder, and I'll just put a email from temp emails. Let's go ahead and copy that. That way we can actually send the email and we fix the issue. So we should be able to say something like May 18th and then maybe do like 1998. And we're going to click sure. That doesn't do anything. And we should probably add a little bit of space under there, but that's fine. I believe the front end is working or the back end's up. Yep. Okay. And we can even hop in here, go into our footer DB and open up our schemas, public tables. And then if we look into users and data, we can see we have unknown coder with the email. We don't have a password. We don't have a phone yet. We don't have verification. That's all good. So let's add a phone number, 555-555-1234. And sure, these are a little bit broken. We'll fix that later. And now once we get to this registration form 5, what we need to do is send an email out to our temp mail. So obviously we don't have anything in here because of everyone's favorite React update. We can't just do it on use effect because it's going to send 2 emails and we definitely don't want that to happen. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to go into the register slice and set up a async thunk like normal. And then we'll probably have to go through and call upon, or actually we probably don't even need to do an async thunk now that I think about it, because we're not updating any information, we're just sending. So we might be able to actually just make a asynchronous call to the register email whenever we click on that next button like we did previously. So let's go ahead and hop into VS Code and take a look at that. So back in VS Code, I'm going to open up our register slice, but I don't even think I actually have to create a new async thunk. I think that since we're awaiting this to happen, and if it doesn't work, it'll automatically reject with error. We can actually go ahead and add a const email equal to await Axios post. And this will be to http //localhost 8000 /auth email /code. We double check that. And then we already have the username for updating the phone number. So we can just say username is equal to body.username and send that along. And then, so essentially what's going to happen is whenever we're on the send phone number, it's going to automatically send the phone number. And then after it updates the phone number and everything comes back all right, it will call this one and await. And then after that, it should change to the next one, because whenever this whole update user phone gets to fulfilled, if we scroll down here, update user phone.fulfilled, it calls the next step and goes to the next step. So to test this out, what we're going to want to do is unfortunately create a new user. So I'm going to restart the server because that will delete my user out of here. And I'm going to refresh this so it makes me create a new account. My temp email is still here, so that's all good to go. Let's go ahead and put unknown Koder back in here and put in my email, put in a random birth date. Again, we fixed the error with single digits, which is great. I didn't even know about until it's too late. Next, this is all good. Sign up. And then we'll say 555-555-1234. Sure, hit these, update number. And now, theoretically, inside of our temp mail, we should get an email. As we see, your verification code. Now keep in mind, I want to add some actual real HTML for this, but it's fine. And if we go into our dbeaver and we refresh our user here, we should see that there is a verification code that matches. So now we can go ahead and start working on the register form 5 and get this code put in. and actually be able to log into our account, so to speak. So back inside of our VS Code, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to go into our features, our component, and then I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this register form 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and make our register form 5 component. So new file, register form 5.tsx. And I'll go ahead and make the register form 5.css as well. And that's all good. We'll go ahead and import our React. We'll probably also need use effect. And we'll need use state from React. Cool. We are eventually going to need our dispatcher and stuff. So I'll go ahead and import that as well. Use selector and use dispatch. Okay. We're going to need our validated text input. So validated text inputs for the code. And then we will also need our root state, import root state. And then we will need the styled button for the next button, styled button. And then finally, we're going to import /register form 5.css before I forget and break everything. Export const, and we'll say register form 5. And let me get rid of the sidebar. So react.function components. It's not going to take any props or state. All is well. So we need to go ahead and remember to return. Whoops. Make sure that we return. If I could type our div. And this will probably have a class name equal to reg-step-5-container, because this is what we have been going with. And there we go. So the first thing that we're going to go and do is grab the register state. So const state is equal to use selector, and we'll say state is equal to root state, and we'll say state.register. This is going to get us some information that we need later. We're also going to have a state for our code. So const code and set code. This is our verification code, is equal to use state. And this is going to be a string. And it will start out empty, of course. And I realized that it's probably better off if I would use ref in some of these, but that's something I noted down and I'll do later. Now let's go ahead and set up the container in our application. So we're going to have another div with the class name equal to reg-step-5-content. This is a rough outline of what it's going to look like. We're going to have an h1, say we sent you a code. Again, most of this is based off of Twitter. It's going to have a paragraph and it's going to say enter it below to verify. And then we're going to say state.email. So we're going to say, hey, make sure that your email is correct. We're going to have our validated text input. We're not really validating anything. It's going to be valid is equal to true no matter what. It's going to have the name will equal to code because this is what we're putting inside of it. We're going to have the label equal to verification code. We'll have the change value equal to nothing for now. We will change this in a second. And then inside here, we'll have it say, whoops. Inside, we'll say update code, or actually, no, we won't. We're going to have a P class name, and I scuffed this. Give me one moment. There we go. Then we'll have a P tag underneath with the class name equal to reg-step-5 dash message. And the message will say, didn't receive a code or an email, question mark. So we're gonna have to go back and circle back and make some way to actually send this. I just realized that's fine, we'll fix it later. We have our styled button, styled next button, active will equal to if we have actually put in a code or not. So we'll say code, question mark, true or false. So if the code's been input or any code has been input, we will put it in there. Disabled is going to equal to, and we'll say code, question mark, false or true. And the color will be black because there's not like sending really any data. And then on click, once again, will be nothing for the time being. We'll set this up at a later date. And there we go, except this one is the one that I want to say next. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially with that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.